Hey guys, what's up? It is James here on James Shadowbreaker. Today, showing you guys up with a large discussion video. So, if you are going to view the video all the way, just be prepared to hear a lot of standpoints, opinions, and whatnot about the topic. If the Mirage update will in fact fix critical, this is not known whether it will or not. Just keep that in mind. But we're just going to talk about if it does. So, does anybody want to shoot opinions first?
Well, I think. Wait, hold up. Before we start the opinions, I think we need to readdress what brought this up, James. When later on when you start editing this, can you make a copy of the tweet that you showed us?
Okay, yeah, I'll put it up in the corner.
Okay, there you go. So, anybody have the tweet available to them right now, actually, so I can remember what they said?
They were talking about the update, and they said people that fancy in combat and shortcuts will mostly be pleased with this update.
Okay, so I'll let you guys go first before I add my 2 cents.
Okay, so right now on the call we have Spider Demon, which you guys just heard, and we have Jordan Ice Sword as well on the call. So,
what's up?
Hello.
So let me just shoot my opinion. It's all been said before. We know the community has dying. KI has made some decisions by laying off people.
That thing's on life alert.
With
we on life alert.
With this update, if comes the fix of PvP, I see two major things happening. A large.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Well, not necessarily. Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily. I'm assuming. Well, since you're saying PvP, I'm assuming you automatically thinking this is talking PvP.
Oh no, critical in general.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I see two very big things happening. First of which is PvP. PvP, I think, will start to thrive again because the majority of people, and a lot of people watching this video will agree with me on this, want the old system back for a multitude of reasons. There are some reasons that some may prefer that would argue with me on this, that they like the new system and how it may or may not be balanced in their eyes or whatnot. But the majority of the people, and this is well known and evident, want the old system back. So PvP, I think, would, like, in a sense, would thrive again, especially on low level between 50 and I think above, pretty much, PvP. And the second thing of which being the return of the community. But I see this happening very, very slowly because not a lot of people have friends that still play the game, that they know outside of Wiz for them to go, oh, yo, you should get back on Wiz. The game is fixed now or whatever. So I think a lot of people would return at a semi-fast rate, but not many people would hop on Wiz right away, maybe within like the first month, and realize, you know, oh, it's fixed again. I'm gonna buy a membership and start playing again, and, you know, tell my friends the same thing. So I think the slow return of the community would start to commence, and that is the two major things that I see happening if this update fixes critical alone. So that is my opinion on it.
You know what King Dog should have done from the start?
What?
They should, like, a lot of people say this. They should have made like two pedestals, one for the classic people who like the old system, and one for the new people that like the
That's
new
a
system.
good idea. Oh my god. Wait, no,
I mean,
but
honestly,
then wait, but then how would the rankings work? Because then you would compete in one and then compete in the other.
No, you get two ratings.
Oh, that's
Gentlemen.
smart. All right, go ahead,
And,
Spider-Man.
and remember, the old ranking system will be still considered second age.
That's smart. All right, go ahead, Spider Demon.
let's not ramble because we do have a habit of rambling off. We'll completely go off topic.
All right.
So, Jordan, what do you think this tweet meant?
I think it meant like Mirage is gonna try to bring back how PvP was before Darkmoor. At least they'll attempt to. Most likely, we're not gonna get any new spells in that world. and I believe that we're gonna get like new crafted gear because
Okay. That would. That,
crafted
never
gear
mind. Go
doesn't
ahead.
give any curse, so it
Okay.
will tone the game down. The only thing is that the critical will be a bit higher, but if they bring back the old system, then it won't even matter because I can get 100% block easily now because of
Mm-hmm.
the Rasputin amulet.
So
So
you're down the line of critical base things. Um, interesting. You brought up a good. Well, in my eyes, um, this can go one or two ways, in my opinion. Hold on, let me get myself set up. Let me set up now because now you got my attention. Not
wait,
sleep.
one more thing, but that would mean they would have to nerf like every single thing in the game,
They would. That is why I said in my last video about this, KI hinting at the return of critical.
and people would go instantly right back to the Morgan amulet.
Exactly. Like it would
You don't
take
need
it
more
would
game family.
it would take too much time to rescript, so I don't think that's the route KI is taking. But maybe a different route. Who knows? Maybe a completely new system. Maybe, but they have to be cautious because they already implemented a new system, and you saw how players reacted. So, go ahead, Spider.
In my eyes, okay. Well, I'll say this. I would hope, as a PvP player, as much as you guys, we are all, PvP community, like you said, James, in the beginning, the PvP community is a very large portion of this game.
Mm-hmm.
This is what kept this game, what's kept its longevity of it for so long. Honestly, let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the stories. After a certain point, I'm not going to say where because I don't feel like hearing people in the comments. But like after a certain point, it kind of dropped off. But the longevity was, hey, let's get our gear, let's go fight each other and beat the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hope, yes, I would hope that they would take into account, like Jordan, you actually brought up a point that I even think of, that they might implement new gear. Obviously, new world, we would obviously want new gear and stuff. So I'm kind of curious now on what this new, what this new gear may look like. Just stitching wise, I'm a fucking stickler for fashion and on stat wise. But that's very interesting right there by itself. And then on top of that, honestly, I kind of disagree with Jordan. If they would add spells to Mirage, I don't want no more damage spells. We've had, I want to say,
Yeah,
3 solid updates that were about damage, and I'm talking Chrysalis, Darkmoor, and the newest one, Polaris. All 3 of them took a damage route, and I can understand people looking at Chrysalis as more of a utility because Strike is not necessarily a damage thing; it's more. But actually, no. What did Chrysalis give us? Chrysalis gave us something that
pets.
was really like a, huh?
They gave us pets.
They gave us uh Pierce dual opportunities, but that came after the Darkmoor update, or with it, I think.
But then
But
fighting, you have to look at it like this. If they add support spells instead of damage spells, think about it like this. What can you give ice and balance? Like you have to give ice a heal at that point. You would have to get balance.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Or at least even let's just say this. Even if they don't add new spells, they could take this opportunity to revise spells. Because many games have taken like things that were broken. Like, not even gonna try to compare apples and oranges here, but like let's just say, okay, hear me out, people. Okay, let's just say I don't know, what's
Weaver
something
to
that
a 50%.
Weaver,
Weaver
yes, let's look at Weaver.
shield.
Weaver is a very common spell that we all know. It's a sword and shield essentially. And let's just say they decide to rebalance it to make it maybe it still keeps its shield aspect, but the sword isn't as potent as it used to be. Or maybe the sword is still potent, but the shield isn't as potent.
mm-hmm.
That would be a very interesting take on things. Like, I mean, obviously, they can't just nerf. I'm not telling them to just nerf ice or any one class particularly, but to go up through all spells throughout the current meta and modifying them so that they're not as broken. Because, like, obviously during the betas or when they're trying to, like, let's look at, what's the new spell for fire? Um,
SFA
Raging Bull
original.
or whatever. Yeah, that one. Originally, that thing was a -40 weakness. I mean, not weakness, what you call it? Mantle. And, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they nerfed it so that it was 25, and that was a good nerf. I mean, like, it still does God. Well, let's not even get into how much damage it does. But yes, that was a good nerf. It makes sense because
Just
now people won't.
also SFA.
Well, I mean, there's a whole, but we can, be picky about this and go through every spell in every class. But I mean, I'm just saying that's a one that's really big that stood out to me. That's like, look, it was honestly broken when they first introduced it. They changed a little minor thing of it, just reducing the mantle, and that helped it. It made it valid in PvP, but it didn't break PvP. Because let's be real, if a 2v2 fire would be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but yes, I would like to see a revisal. I am hoping to see a revisal in the PvP aspect of the game. But then knowing, I'm not even going to say KI. I'm not even going to throw them under the bus. But just knowing how companies works in general, because like I mean, we had a conversation off recording, about the another community I used to be really big part of and everything before I met you guys, and they decided to listen to
Players.
to listen. No, not I'm gonna say the players that didn't choose to be a part of the competitive scene. They listened to the PvE players and
Mm.
the casuals that didn't necessarily know how the meta works. And they listen to them. The companies listen to these people for some reason, and they change things to suit them because they're thinking these people are the meta, when really they aren't. They don't even know what the word meta means.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I see happening. But
Mm-hmm.
God knows I truly don't want that to happen. I would love nothing more for them to take all in consideration of all the, some of the great, some of the great PvPers out there that, have done, I'm not even gonna say great, but let's just say some of the well-known PvPers out there, like,
Mm-hmm.
like myself, you guys, and I'm truly not trying to name any names because I already know how that's gonna go. But yeah. Anyway, players who made a name of themselves for being in PvP. I would like for them to listen to what we have to say and take in consideration of what the community, fellow members of this part of the community like us have to say, and fix things. And now, on the other half, with that shortcut thing, I am kind of curious what they mean by shortcuts. Will this mean that? Because what I'm like, again, this is another thing that can come in one or two ways. When I think shortcuts, I think either they're going to speed up the amount of XP that you get, well, increase. I'll say that
That's what
increase the
someone
amount of
said. Yeah.
XP you get for certain worlds. We all know. Let's just say if you're doing Crocotopia, not at its full extent, but at least getting whatever you needed to get done it, you're going to be at least, let's just say, 25 to 35, somewhere in that range, and that will take you onto the Marley Bone. You know, we all know this. Maybe they might increase that, making it so a lot easier, so that we all know the struggle of making a new character from scratch and having to love that grind from one to whenever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I'm thinking about. And the second thing, which I don't want to happen, but I've seen it in other games before, like, not to throw any companies underneath the bus, but anybody who is stayed up to date with Blizzard, they know that, the WoW, the World of Warcraft community, they took the route of, hey, pay X amount of money to us, we'll give you a maxed out character, and all you gotta do is get his gear.
Mm-hmm.
That is something I don't want to see, because I look at it like, for veterans like my,
True. They could do that. They
yeah,
could.
there we go. So, because veterans like myself, you know,
Because that could be a way for people to get like, oh, Kings will be like, oh, we banned your account in the past, so just buy another one from us.
Exactly.
I did not realize that. That is a pretty good standpoint.
Hmm.
Wow.
I don't want to see because when I first started playing WoW, I realized it wasn't necessarily for me. But then a whole little ad slot found its way in my DMs, like, hey, we'll pay you. You can pay us to give you a free character, and I'm just like, but what's the point of me buying your subscription? Because you did the work for me. Yes, I don't have gear. I'm going to have to work for my gear, but you basically just paid me to get, that I basically just paid you to play for me.
Mm-hmm.
That completely defeats the purpose of the game because it takes away the experience. I worked hard to make all the level 100s to 110s that I've made, so now and in the past, and I know you guys have has as well. So can you imagine little Tommy over here? Us three have worked our asses off, but little Tommy just started. Oh, he paid this X amount of money. Now he has a max.
That would be that would be crazy. What the heck?
Yes, and on top of that, I can look at it like this: when you do that, it's kind of a better thing in the idea of people. It's like I understand the good qualities that come through it because I look at it like if you do that whole thing with the whole buying a max, it increases the PvP community in a sense
Yeah,
because there's no longer a grind
but
for your max, but still, you miss out on the core of the game, which is it's ultimately it playing the story the first time through is fun. To get delved into what the story is from Malister Morganth and the Rat Dude, like there is a very interesting twists and turns.
mm-hmm. At the same time, wouldn't that be like a sort of cancer in the PvP community? Whereas if you bought a level 110, even if you grinded the gear and you tell someone that tells someone else, and then the word spreads around to the high ranked max community that you're now somehow good at PvP, even if you were good before, if you bought a character, wouldn't you be called out if you won? First or second does not matter. Someone on the sidelines would be like, oh, bot account, whatever, whatever, not true skill, this or that. But they would just,
Not really, because they don't give you the gear.
yeah,
Exactly.
but
They're not giving you the
I
gear.
can bet you somebody
Oh yes,
a
of
large.
course. There's definitely going to be that asshole. I might be that asshole. I'm not going to front. I might be that
Well,
asshole. Like let's just
well,
say,
how would you know?
Like I said, let's just say he tells someone and they tell someone else, and the word gets around.
I see what you're saying.
You never know. There
You know,
could be an icon over your name that symbolizes the account was bought.
well, I don't think they would do that. That doesn't just make sense. I mean,
Or
I look
you
at it like,
just pay them to put a character on the account, like because they can already swap characters from account to account if you pay them. So I don't know. I don't know. That might
What
actually be something that's coming. Pay for a high level.
I know this is off topic, but one thing they should do is like you when you have to swap characters, you need a year membership for both accounts. It should just
Mm-hmm.
be a one on both accounts.
yeah, that year membership is kind of bullshit. I mean,
Just
I'm gonna just dabble into this really quickly, and then I want to get back on topic. But yeah, that's kind of bullshit because I mean, 9 times out of 10, the reason I'm swapping the character from the account, is because I don't want to play on that account no more.
Mm-hmm. So
But that's a whole nother topic for another day.
well, my opinion is I think the Mirage will fix crit. You, Spider Demon, have given some very insightful possibilities there. Very creative as well. Um, that's some serious stuff. If they do implement that, that's actually pretty big. And I can actually see KI doing something like that considering that they are low on income right now. I can definitely see them taking that route.
Because again, like I said, if you can catch newbies that don't really know, you can make a quick extra bucks. From people say, hey, buy some max levels, buy some max
Facts.
levels. You
yeah,
want a max level balance? Here, we'll make it for you.
one thing King Cloud should do as well is that you know the a UK server house you can buy membership with crowns, right?
Mm-hmm.
They should implement that on the US as well.
They actually. I'm not sure why in like the many years, like the 11 whatever years that not 11, it hasn't been out that long, but for the 5, 6 whatever years that Wiz has been out, they have not done that yet. I don't get it. But and then Jordan with the you know the implementation, I'm not sure how you say the word, but if they do implement in the Mirage update 2 PvP pedestals, one being old age and one being new age, that would be the smartest thing that I would see KI doing, and actually I would have never thought of in a million years, probably from anybody but you.
Or
um
what they can do, what I thought they was gonna do for Polaris, I thought they was gonna raise our. You see how the critical is broken and everything, right?
yeah.
What I thought they was gonna do, I thought they was gonna bring that health up to like 10K instead of like 7K. So even if I get crit on, it's still an opportunity for me to come back into the match.
mm.
So make my health, make ice like 10K, make storm like 6K, make fire like 7K,
So you
balance it.
thought that they were going to implement gear that had hella health.
Because remember how the health globes got way smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing they're trying to fit more numbers in.
But
But I
that
honestly,
go
but
ahead.
well, in my honest opinion, I see what you're saying there with that, but I think that was just kind of like a texture thing. They just kind of like it looked ugly, so they just kind of fixed it. I mean, making health increasements to everyone would not be bad because I mean we've all faced the FFA crit and gotten like 5k damage done to us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's all. That's that's 1k. That's
And
one
one thing,
slash
but
2k of
sorry to put you up. One thing they should do. If you're first, you cannot get a shot your first round.
Hmm.
That needs to get put into the game.
But back onto the subject of 2 pedestals, that would actually be the smartest thing that I can see KI doing financially for themselves and for the players. That would solve both the people who think the new system is the way to go, and it would solve the problems for the people that want the old system back. That would be so fantastic, it would not even be funny. And they could separate the ranks, like you said, so that you can't boost off both by just having, really high critical or whatnot.
And look,
honestly. Go ahead.
and the other pedestal that could possibly bring back 44s as well.
It could. That would be so lit. Oh my god, dude. That is the best thing I've heard all year. 2 pedestals, freaking separate rank for both.
Or they can make a max pedestal. They can make 100 to 110 pedestal and a 90 and below pedestal.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my, because level 100 gear and below is fit for patches that got replaced with the new system. If
Because what I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw after a while, after looking at the Darkmoor spells, I saw it as they should have just made the Darkmoor spells not PvP.
mm-hmm.
That would have been perfect.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been. Wait, Darkmoor. What was Ice Darkmoor spell? Wasn't that Weaver?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Luminous Weaver, but
Honestly,
Mount
I wouldn't necessarily be mad about that, just because I mean, like, you are right. Because I mean, don't get me wrong. I honestly, this is what I think with the pedestals, because I've been thinking about this for a long ass time. To be honest, I love that they implemented tournaments so that people are able to test their skills, in against multiple players, whether 1v1 to 4v4. But my thing is, they need to either reduce how much crowns it costs, and I mean like severely reduce how much crowns it costs to enter in a tournament, or they need to make the tournament thing, keep the amount that it is, make the tournament outcome of winning better. But on the sidelines, if you don't have the crowns, you just be pumping. You don't have your wallet can't sustain a membership and crowns. They need to allow you to do some of the 4v4, or any of the modded game effects inside regular practice. Because don't get me wrong, I mean we like Jordan, you and I have slayed some double ice perks before. I would love nothing more for us to make a practice match. No rank is on the line. We're just chilling, but it's a nice perk.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Like I would, and then on top of that, I look at it like you can start getting creative with this shit. Make it so that it's not ice and fire. Who knows? It's ice and life. Make it too random. Like I would love nothing more for if you're in your house, like you have the arenas in your house, or if you have the practice pedestal, you are able to create we only have set like a few things that we can customize. If our teammates are friendly, if our enemies are friendly, and what level that they have to be to bid. That's only 3 things right there. Add more PvP options, because honestly that's what the community needs. If you want people to if you don't want PvP just to be just 2v2 1v1, that's the only way to test your skill, at max level. Don't get me wrong, anybody who does 100
Guys,
and below.
I just realized something, but I'm going to say it after you're done. So continue.
uh, don't get me wrong, if you're out there doing 100 and below 3v3s, 4v4s, don't get me wrong, be my guest. All praise to you. But like I would love nothing more for me, we get a group of friends and let's just say, hey guys, get in 4v4. I set up a practice match, but we make it classic 4v4. Like, cause people love that shit. Like they love testing their abilities, their skill to the max of it can be. But I really need, like, if you want this PvP community to go back to what it is, that's definitely something you want to implement. The idea of, hey, all these tournament things that we're making you pay for, you can do them as well. But make it so that if you do pay to be into a tournament, that the outcome is better. So like everybody because we've been there, especially you and me, John. We've done 4v4s with Matthew back in the day, and we've had like 4 or 5 different teams, and if everybody's pumping out 500 crowns, make the crowns the payout.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get like a percentage of what was paid in.
Mm-hmm.
Make that payout better so that it's worth buying into that shit. Don't make it restricted for anybody who's just paying for it. That's just dumb.
Cause like, let's be honest. Everybody knows this game isn't 10 and up.
Yeah, it's not.
We have villains.
KI has gotten so linear with rules, it's ridiculous.
We have villains dying in a 10-year-old game. What is that?
We'll say something else, but I don't know who's watching this, but so never mind. I'll tell y'all later.
What 4 10-year-olds are gonna beat Rasputin? Honestly.
Facts. That's facts. Okay, so
Wait, James, what you were trying to say? You were trying to say something, yeah.
So what I was thinking, what the shortcut thing could be, and just hear me out. I think if this update is bringing Mirage, new gear, crafted, whatever, right? Obviously Mirage is coming out. But they say specifically that they're hard at work and people specifically liking combat and shortcuts. So again, I'm going to direct attention to the PvP scene. I think that aside from Mirage, I think Mirage is already done. They've already got the patch notes and everything, and it's ready to go. They're just fixing up the last bit of stuff. But I think aside from Mirage, they're working hard to fix PvP. At least PvP, because combat and shortcuts. Combat, obviously PvP. That has to be the thing. If not, then they're talking about critical. But if in the case they are talking about PvP, I think that shortcuts is referring to getting your gear. I think they're going to implement a new way to gain mass arena tickets and get your gear faster than if you were to pay 500 crowns and risk going second all 4 times and losing to your opponent due to broken critical, especially in this day and age of Wiz.
Or they could be fucking around and combat could just be questing. I
You
think
could
combat.
be able to buy arena tickets with crowns. Like, just straight up, instead of doing tournaments. But the thing is, would that make tournaments go extinct?
No, they
If they
that
do
would
the arena tickets for crowns, I'm gonna need that crowns for gold to go away then, because that gold crowns for gold some bullshit, yo. Let's be real.
It really
We
is.
all know that's some bullshit.
uh,
Who the
uh,
fuck bought it?
I kind of hope they don't do that because I wouldn't like to go up against a private with like that Fashion Blades and
No, no,
Glendon
no, no,
Pool.
no, wait. Oh, wait, you're right. What, no? Because you still have to be Warlord to buy it, remember?
True, true, true.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get in your rank. You can buy it, but just because you buy it doesn't mean you have to wear it.
Yeah. You still have to be that rank to buy it. And it's non-tradable, so you can't do any of that stuff. But that, I don't know. You have to think that Mirage is not part of... I mean, it might be part of what they're saying, but I strongly think that combat and shortcuts are referring to PvP. And I think that by shortcuts, they're either referring to tickets, rank, or something having to do with player versus player.
Question:
Mm-hmm.
Are we just gonna continue to talk about the tweet that we heard, or do you want to dwell into the Mirage predictions, or is that for a later vid?
I think that's for a later vid.
Okay, because
Possibly.
I thought of something that deals with
Yeah.
Arcanium, and but that's all speculation.
We have talked about some stuff about Mirage, but mainly I wanted to focus on the PvP and
Yeah,
critical scene. Yeah.
that tweet thing that we saw. Okay,
So
so I'm gonna
anyways,
save that for later.
we are going to be
'Cause
coming out with a Mirage discussion video about what might be in Mirage. If you guys are interested, stay tuned on the channel for that video that will possibly be coming up maybe next Tuesday or next Monday, depending on, I don't know, whenever it happens. Not next week though, like after next weekend. But this has been the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you were interested in some of the ideas that we came up with in this video. Some that I didn't even know that we would talk about. So shout out to Jordan and Spider Demon for being a savage.
Yo, you fucked up. Oh my god. I was about to say, yo, is he about to say it? Shout out to Spider just being a savage right there. Let's just trademark that right now.
Shout out to Spider for being a savage. Shout out to
Yes.
Jordan for being in the video. His channel link will be down in the description. He has some very controversial topics on his channel, so go check those out, such as Is Juju a Strategy? And
Catch me in Crocotopia swimming in the pools.
me and him talk about that. So go check out his channel, check out his videos, regular discussion videos. And this is James, Spider, and Jordan Ice Sword giving you guys a sign out. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.